look at me like that. I've been down this road too many times. Welcome back to the Tokyo desert. Yeah, 18 years later and things still look about the same as they did in SMT3. With Lucifer scheming again thanks to a certain young man, it's time to join another young man in his journey across the netherworld. It's an interesting parallel coming from SMT3 as the protagonist is a Nahobino, this organic form of a god which is half god, half human. I know, crazy. You're not treated like an outsider this time, and oh wait, never mind, existence is a crime. SMT5 takes place 18 years after the events of SMT3. Lucifer and his demons won the war known as Armageddon, killing God, marking this world without a creator. That's not so bad, right? Wrong. Humanity gets caught up once again in the race for the throne to become the new creator, and if you played SMT3, you can guess where this is going. The story, although similar in themes and endings, was different in its presentation. Most notably is the variance in story events based on the route you take at the start of the game. SMT5 has two different tales of the same story, the Canon of Creation and Canon of Vengeance. Now, after playing the game 10 times, the main difference is that Yoko and the Kadishtu and all its surrounding subplots involving them do not exist in Canon of Creation. Additionally, Shinjuku and Chiyoda are also mutually exclusive play areas that are explored based on the route you take. I enjoyed both tales, but even though I played Canon of Vengeance first, Canon of Creation is the better starting point as it develops the characters better instead of focusing on side investigations involving the Kadishtu. Now, despite the story having two differentiations, the events of the story are more or less the same. It was pretty neat that I could actually fight alongside my human friends instead of them going immediately crazy the moment the conception happens, but I mean, they still go crazy, but at least we still had good times. Unlike SMT3, the story and world is much more open-ended, with fast travel possible from anywhere. Tokyo has been destroyed, but also not really because of something called the Shekinah Glory, which was created by the creator before Lucifer killed them. You know, when I heard this in the story, I kind of zoned out as the term was brought up randomly and its function sounded very plot convenient. Now, I found the story to be quite mediocre, and this is based on the Canon of Vengeance route, which is my first playthrough. It's mostly due to a lot of unexplained or up to interpretation plot points. Demons invade the school, and the Kadishtu can appear in Tokyo, but it's not explained how they can move between worlds. The Amala drum, which is the known transportation method between worlds, is in the Diet building, and there's also one in my dorm room. These devices aren't really explained in SMT5, so are they just mass-produced now, or can I buy one at my local convenience store? Also, it was a missed opportunity to revisit the Labyrinth of Amala and maybe get a chance to talk to Lucifer from SMT3 to get more clarity on the world. Finally, my biggest confusion point was Yakumo in Canon of Vengeance. He's set up as the neutral perspective ideology that fights for humanity, but when Nuwa dies, he just dips out of the game. I mean, I get it though. He lost his hot demon GF. I'd be sad too. To close off the story, I enjoyed that there was a demon ending equivalent that I got in SMT3. Canon of Creation has 3 routes that you can select near the end of the game with 1 secret ending, while Canon of Vengeance is limited to 2 new endings that are determined based on which goddess you complement more.
Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. You fucking donkey.
The endings are quite plain, but straightforward to understand. Create a world ruled by one god, or create a world ruled by many gods, or eliminate the throne, making the world simply continue with no creator possible that can exist. The secret ending is quite unique also, as it makes a world for humans exclusively, without the existence of gods or demons. Compared to SMT3's secret ending, this one is much more optimistic, but I believe it aligns quite nicely with the more positive characteristics of the player character, which is a Nahobino, and the lore behind the Protofiends. Whatever else though, my favorite ending will always be the one that retains the world in its current state. After all, there's no need to claim a throne when everyone's already dead. Overall, I would give this story a 0 out of 10. There's no Raido or Dante. So there's quite a cast of characters this time around. Similarly to SMT3 though, it's best not to view them as characters, but more so as vehicles for ideologies. I'm not going to go through each character as I don't have much to discuss. I just want to bring up some small topics. First, Yuzuru and Dazai needed more screen time and development of their characters after becoming Nahobino with their demons. That would have made them more opposing or supporting them more engaging and believable. Second, Yakumo has hidden lore if you talk to the researchers in the Diet Building. You learn that he lived around demons from a young age, but because of a homicide incident, he's grown a vendetta against them. I wish they expanded on him more as a character, especially with some Tokyo-based quests maybe, but I don't know. He needed it. Third, Miyazu is very forgettable, and you can probably go the entire game without seeing her after the mandatory story sections. I was surprised that after Yuzuru's death as well, she doesn't become a Nahobino herself with Konsu. And lastly, I did enjoy that Tao and Yoko had debates during the subquest. SMT3 was a lonely journey, but this time I had two philosophers accompanying me for the majority of the adventure. It added a nice touch of commentary along with Aogami's bench therapy sessions. Alright, now on to the real reason you bought this game, the pain. Specifically the pain of not being able to abuse physical skills anymore to brute force the game. More or less everything is the same though, as is true with most Atlas titles. Elements, skill names, demons, affinities, demon negotiation, and the press turn system are all here. You know what didn't make a comeback? Puzzle Boy. And thank the creator for that. Oh wait, he's dead. The most outstanding new function is the Omagatoki system. It means twilight in Japanese. These are brand new skills that are very powerful buffs, conditions, or attacks that you can use based on your party composition. Other new additions like talismans or periaps encourage smart and strategic demon composition as certain races or demons work more seamlessly together. Now in my experience, I just kept using the basic Omagatoki skill, since it would essentially quadruple my damage against any enemy, but these tools exist to experiment with us playing on higher difficulties will require more than just knowing weaknesses. Regarding difficulty, there are 4 options with an added Godborn mode, which is not really a difficulty option, but rather a game world modifier that makes every enemy level 150. Safety is SMT3's Merciful mode, which makes the game a breeze, and it's great for farming or demon negotiations as it reduces the risk of dying. Thankfully, reducing the risk is actually not as complicated as one might think. Inheritance of skills and affinities for the MC is a key and lock type of system in SMT5. Just think of the key you're using to be a one-time use until you find another one. To elaborate, the Nahobino can inherit any skill or affinity from a demon they've acquired essence from. Essences are essentially pretty much found anywhere too, from the open world drops to demon gifts. And what makes the system very liberative but also strategic is that an essence can only be applied once to yourself or other demons, so choose wisely. I like the system a lot as I could spec my Nahobino to perfectly counter a boss that I was struggling on, but it was suboptimal for everything afterwards. It wouldn't be an SMT game without trade-offs. Next, let's talk about how there's no more random encounters. I know. No longer getting spawn camped outside of the Ginza save room after I take one step out the door. The world of SMT5 feels incredibly lived in, with actual 3D demons out in the world. They interact with their environments as well, such as sitting on street lamps, racing each other, or spawn camping until a Nahobino walks up. Demon encounters are also very easy to avoid, so you're not incentivized or required to defeat every opponent that you lock eyes on. Combat aside, the environments and graphical style did impress me. It was a concern I had as I progressed through this title that I'd be exploring 5 deserts across Tokyo. But with the 3rd map and onwards, the variety of landscapes was quite diverse. Navigating some maps was less intuitive for me, such as Chiyoda and Taito, but partially I like to think a lot of the dead space is a homage to all the useless dead-end rooms and corridors from SMT3. Finally, demons look incredible in this title, and the glow-up but retention of older design demons is there. Some new demons were added from the DLC, and they all look really clean. What stands out the most though is that a lot of the demons have unique skills and have their own animation. Too bad we'll never get Raido or Dante back though. And this is where I'm closing my adventure log in the Netherworld. It's been a long summer for me, and I can't even escape this Tokyo desert in the virtual world either. But thanks for sticking through though. With this one, it was long, but I should be back to normal schedule going forward into the fall. I picked up some exciting new titles and franchises from the Steam summer sale, so I wonder, where shall we go next?